Time, the continuous progression of existence that flows in a seemingly irreversible succession, from the past, through the present, and into the future. Sometimes referred to as the fourth dimension, we try to define time as a constant, a never-stopping, forward-moving arrow. But although the hands of the clock always move at the same speed, to us, that speed is relative, particularly our perception of the past. Paul Genet's proportional theory suggests that our perception of time seems to accelerate as we age, because each new unit of time that we live is smaller compared to all the time that came before. The year you lived as a 9-year-old child was 10% of your entire life up to that point. The year you live as a 49-year-old would only be 2%. Is this why time seems to go by so fast?
What happens all the time is, I have this with the kids a lot. They'd say, remember we did this and we did that. I kind of say a lot of the time, kind of don't. I remember, bits and pieces of stuff. I suppose, like your children being born is a big deal, but in an odd kind of way, you almost don't remember it. I don't know why, but just the reality. It's my reality. It's the objective reality. I'm kind of not very nostalgic. I don't particularly want to go back to any time because you're changing all the time. That person that you were when you were 21 or 22, even though it was cool at the time, it's kind of not who you are anymore. It's a different thing.
Everybody changes as they get older, definitely. Yeah. I had a great time in my 20s. I had a great time in my 30s. Didn't love high school, so I don't know if I'd go back to that. But probably, my 20s. Go back to that decade. But now I have 3 little kids and time goes real slow for them. They don't have a concept of it, so it's really interesting to see even 5 minutes for them is an eternity. And for me, it's, a few seconds. But
when I lived in France, we had like a big house with a big garden, very big garden. And I think the thing I missed the most is having the big garden and my sister to play with in it.
As technology advances, modern society keeps changing, and so do our lives. We take pictures, record each other, share our moments together, always reminding ourselves of the fleeting nature of the present. But is the present really ours? We get stuck in traffic, spend endless hours commuting. We waste time doom scrolling, we procrastinate, overthink, worry about not being productive enough. We are always under time pressure, running late for work, for class, for the deadlines looming. So little of our time is left for us to truly enjoy. How do we reclaim it? Depending on our age, we are expected to use our time accordingly. Kids should play and go to school. Adults should work and start a family. Elders should retire. Is it right to categorize our lives in such a way? Are we forced to?
yeah, it goes fast. The weeks go fast. Working full time. I have 3 kids. They're in creche and they're in school. Yeah, kind of fitting it all in. And being a person myself, you just have to keep track of the time, I guess. And yeah, I have to do it for 3 little people as well. So you just kind of have to be in the ball and know when to start earlier to prepare to leave to go places. So just being prepared.
A lot of people around me are pressing me about college and you don't have all the time in the world to actually try and find your thing. Because everyone says that as soon as I was done school, I should have started college. But I actually don't agree with that. I have a lot of time in front of me to actually decide what I want to do. And I feel like it would be better for the future if I actually take my time.
Most people has always been aware of this notion of time ticking away. You know, you've got X amount of time and you got to try and fit stuff in. I like when you're in a place, like you're in a cinema and you're in the middle of a film that's going on for X amount of time, and you're just thinking, well, that's it now. I'm not going to think about anything else. I'm going to watch this film now, and you know, that's it for the next 3 hours. Or you're on a bus with a book. But I think I've always had that perception of time, yeah.
Perhaps the most important question people will ever ask themselves is, what am I doing with my life? We are complex creatures. People have hopes, aspirations, expectations, plans. But sometimes we may also be prisoners to circumstances. That is why we are afraid for our future. Will I go to college? Will I find a good job? Will I be able to afford a house? Will I have children? Will I be happy? We fear that something could go wrong at any given time, that things could turn out differently. We may not be able to pursue the studies we desire because of our economic situation. At some point, we may realize we are not exactly doing the job of our dreams, and later on, we may be unsatisfied or even regret how we have lived our lives so far. We allow our minds to be trapped in a constant cycle of concern, always chasing something we think will make us feel accomplished, thoughts that may instead cause us to become unhappy. But are those truly the things that determine our happiness?
I wouldn't know. Then I'm okay with not knowing. I'll know with like time. People would like make me concerned about things I wouldn't be thinking about my future that maybe I should be thinking about, but I don't know. I feel like everything would be okay if I like continue doing what I like doing. I hope to be happy is the only thing I hope for my future. Whatever I'll be doing, I hope I will be happy doing it, whichever that is.
I'd like to do something different. I'd like to speak more languages. Something simple like that. But that's just a matter of putting my mind to it, yeah.
I hope for a really peaceful world, to be honest. I feel like we're in a really difficult time in the world. And for my kids to grow up healthy and happy.
We let the comfort of the past create the illusion that things could not be better than they used to be. We let the ever-changing present get the best of us as we struggle to keep up. We let the future scare us, doubting ourselves and what we could become. Time only moves forward, but it is always relative. In the grand scheme of things, does it really matter? The vastness of our universe defies even time. It stretches beyond beginnings and endings, beyond seconds and centuries. And within that infinity, there is us. We are part of it. Our life is not defined by how long it lasts, but by what we do with it. No matter how insecure you are, how powerless you feel, no matter how young or old you are, what you do with the ebb and flow of time is yours alone to decide. The architect of your destiny. And if you ever feel lost, just remember,